fresh cracks are emerging inside Europe over Ukraine's future. Just days after the EU released the first $3.2 billion from its new $90 billion support package, Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico warned that Ukraine's strongest military backers could eventually become the biggest opponents of its bid to join the European Union.
Remember the last paradox. Those countries that support Ukraine most militarily in the war against Russia will be the ones who will be most against its accession to the European Union, because they will fear that Ukraine will put a heavy burden on the EU budget. There is a large amount of economic surplus there. Yes, that is the other side of Ukraine's entry into the European Union. Therefore, everything has its time, and Ukraine must be patient. It must be very, very patient.
Fico also rejected the EU's $90 billion support instrument, arguing that the bloc is financing Ukraine's defense industry only for Kyiv to expand weapons production and potentially sell those systems back to European countries. Slovakia has refused to participate in the package.
We did not support, and we are not participating in the $90 billion loan that Ukraine is receiving from the European Union. It is strange that this loan is primarily intended for Ukraine's military needs.
Despite those objections, the Slovak leader said his government would continue raising the issue of peace during its presidency of the Visegrad Group, alongside competitiveness, EU enlargement, and regional cooperation, signaling that Bratislava intends to keep the debate alive. At the Ukraine Recovery Conference in Gdansk, Ukrainian Prime Minister Yulia Svyrydenko welcomed the first $3.2 billion tranche, saying the money would strengthen Ukraine's defense, support macroeconomic stability, and help rebuild the country's energy system ahead of winter.
Last week was marked with a historical milestone for us. The first negotiation cluster was opened, and I want to thank you to everyone in this room who personally contributed to make it happen. Thank you so much. I also want to say thank you to European partners for the critically important $90 billion financial support instrument for Ukraine. And we have a great news. The first disbursement of €3.2 billion will be announced today. Applause. And this disbursement will help us to strengthen our defense, will help us to maintain the macroeconomic stability within the country and to rebuild our energy system ahead the new heating season.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen defended the funding package and reaffirmed that Ukraine's future lies within the European Union. But Fico's remarks underline the growing political divide over the cost of supporting Kyiv and the challenges that could shape Ukraine's long-term path toward EU membership.
Ukraine's defense industry, with Europe's support, is showing that it can out-innovate Russia's. Ukraine now produces drones at a scale that matches and even exceeds Russian production capacity. And the determination of the Ukrainian people has shown to the world that their European choice cannot be broken. And now it is our task to turn that choice into a reality. Earlier this month, indeed, we opened the first cluster of negotiations with Ukraine, and this was a historic moment. A recognition of the remarkable progress Ukraine has made already, and a strong signal that Ukraine's future belongs in our European family. And yes, enlargement is more than a process. It is an anchor for Ukraine's future.
As Brussels accelerates financial support and membership talks with Kyiv, opposition, from leaders like Robert Fico, highlights the growing debate inside the European Union over the long-term costs, political consensus, and future direction of Ukraine's European integration.